Hey folks, good afternoon and welcome to yet another video from the Go for Stocks family. Today again, we are going to share what Nifty did last week and what our view is for Nifty as well as for the major indices for the upcoming week. So starting with Nifty, as you can see, as you all know by now, that Nifty had a 8-day winning streak, continuous winning streak of more than 800 points. And on the ninth day, it finally gave in, succumbing to global cues, which were there for the last 2 to 3 days, but it was kind of ignoring that. But finally, on Friday, some profit booking set in, and Nifty fell by 160 odd points. Uh, but what we currently see here is that we see in the Nifty weekly charts, it's kind of made a almost a gravestone doji, I would say, getting rejected from the weekly pivot of 19,600 levels. Actually, it didn't. The high it made during the week was around 19,523 only. So the rejection happened much earlier. But yeah, this kind of a candle, almost like a gravestone doji, um, just below a crucial pivot resistance, uh, tells me that the up move currently might get punctured for now, and we might see some consolidation going ahead. So if we go back to the daily charts, yeah, we see that Nifty has fallen below the daily pivot resistance as well at 19,440 levels. Yeah, 19,440 odd levels is a daily pivot resistance. It on Thursday it broke above that, but on Friday it actually came below that. So signifying that this particular breakdown is a breakout was a failed breakdown, failed breakout. And now what can happen? So as you can see, the week started with a gap up from so this was the previous week close at 19,200 odd levels, and then the last week, which is 19,000 on the 3rd of July, we started with a gap up of close to 35 odd points. So Nifty might make an attempt to to close this gap, which is always a good sign. And as long as it takes support at around this 19,200 levels, that will not be too much of a problem at all. So, so consolidation in this wide, say even 500 to 200, 19,200 to 19,500 range um, is very much possible over the next few days, at least till the quarterly results start coming out, uh, which is I think 12th is probably when TCS comes out. TCS and HCL Tech, both of them come out with their quarterly results. So before the 12th, don't anticipate much of a big move on the Nifty. So this is what Nifty. If you look at the options chain of Nifty, what do we see? So we see call writing, pretty aggressive call writing that happened on Friday. So 19,400 is the maximum, is where the maximum call writers are placed at, and that is where the maximum call open interest got added, and 19,500 is also a very decent, where we see very decent call additions or call writing happening. So this entire zone of 19,400 to 500 might now act as a resistance if Nifty manages to, Nifty attempts to make any up move and break above 19,400, 500 levels again in the near future. What do we see on the put side? On the put side, we see maximum additions at 19,300 levels. Uh, of course, 19,000 levels also is there. 19,000 levels is where we see maximum put additions, but that's a little far off. Uh, Most likely these are like hedges rather than real, put additions. Put writing. And what is surprising to see is that even though Nifty went below and gave a close below 19,400, we still see uh, put additions here at the 19,400 level. So you might argue that these are put buyers. Mostly these are put buyers, but my feeling is that these are more of straddlers at the 19,400 level. So if Nifty manages to stay above that 19,200, so we might see this range bound movement to continue, and at least for the next 3-4 days till the results start coming out. So that's the view on Nifty. Let's check the Bank Nifty, what it's doing on the weekly charts. Bank Nifty made like Nifty, it made a gravestone doji. And if we go back to the daily charts, we see that it's getting rejected from 45,600 levels. It got rejected there. This particular pivot, which is at 45,750 odd, and the week ended below this 45,250 pivot. So what can happen? It can again consolidate in this 45,250 to 44,500 range. The bank results do not come out, I think, before 20th or 22nd, when ICICI Bank comes out with its results. I don't think HDFC Bank or even Axis Bank has given any dates as to when they are going to come out with their results. So till that happens, banks might remain subdued. I mean, if IT results go well and to keep Nifty in check, banks might remain subdued for some time. So that's the view on banks. Again, it's range bound. I don't see much of a up move on the banks, at least for the next week. At least for next week, I don't see Bank Nifty, making new highs. So yeah, consolidation in the 45,250 to 44,500 levels is what I would be, betting on. Moving on to Nifty IT, and this is where the action is going to be next week, with TCS and HCL coming up with their results on 12th, and I think Wipro also is supposed to come out with their results on 13th. Infi doesn't come out with their results next week. Infi is next to next week. So but yeah, so 3 of the top 5 IT companies are going to come out with the results, and in case of Nifty IT, we can see that it's actually struggling to make an entry into the CPR zone. So this entire zone is called the CPR. It's basically the central pivot range. This entire zone is a central pivot range. And as I had said earlier also, Nifty IT would turn bullish only if it manages to cross above this central pivot range, which is at 32,800 levels. So that is the level it has to cross for Nifty IT to turn bullish and regain its leadership position. Till the time, I mean, it's it's not going to happen soon. That is, if I move into the daily charts, yes, there is rejection at 30,000 levels, which is where the daily pivot is, and again till the results come out. So the good thing about the Nifty IT is that the results are actually there's not too much of expectations on the results of the IT companies this time. So if TCS and HCL Tech, if they manage to, surprise on the upside, then we might see a big rally come out, a big rally happening in the IT stocks. So, or and if the results are as expected, then we might consider, some more range bound activity in the Nifty IT, Nifty IT index, that is. So moving on, Reliance. This is where the action already has happened. Based on the news which came out a couple day, I think yesterday or yeah, probably yesterday, when the demerger of the Geo Financial Services was announced. I mean, was talked about actually. It's not uh, uh, announced, so to say. Like the dates have not been finalized yet, but it's the news is out that it's going to happen sometime in September, before Diwali for sure, this year. So that is going to unlock some value in Reliance, and that is what prompted the Reliance share to, move above this CPR zone, weekly CPR zone, and it is now in a bullish territory. So yeah, I might be taking some bullish, um, trades in Reliance through option strategies. I might share my trades once I have taken them at a later point. So that's it. I mean, for on Reliance, definitely the view is bullish for now. Moving on to the mid caps. The mid cap index, again, it's kind of a doji, and on the weekly charts, following the major Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty index, so it's also a doji. And if I go into the daily charts, yes, you can see that again there is a resistance on the daily pivot. So this is at 36,450 levels. This particular pivot got rejected there, and what can happen is it can come down and test these 35,740 odd levels over the next couple of days, maybe. If the overall market seems a little, iffy, then probably this can happen. The mid cap index can come down and consolidate further in this zone. What happens to the small caps? The small cap actually has given a breakout. This is the index which had not given a breakout earlier, and this time it has given a breakout. And now what it needs to do is next week it needs to possibly make a move above this 10,800 odd levels and continue its up move. So my belief is if Nifty remains range bound, um, and doesn't show any doesn't show any signs of falling down below 19,200 levels, I would think this small cap index from for the next few weeks might outperform the Nifty.